How goes the family? How goes it? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Happy Friday, the whole nine. The weekend is here. We made it after all. For my people on the East Coast, Midwest, and down south that are cold. Heck, even some people that are here on the West Coast that are cold. Hopefully you guys are okay. Hopefully nobody's got pipes bursting, power outages, or anything of that nature. So that's all I can say on that one. Anyways, today's word of the day is resourcefulness. All right, and I'm actually going to give it a good example of what resourcefulness means. It's basically defined as the ability and creativity to cope with difficulties. If you are stranded in a house without power and you are able to find a way to get fire going and cook yourself some lunch, this is an example of being resourcefulness and the ability to cope with difficult situations or unusual problems. Hey, you got pandemic, you got supply chain issues, you got power outages and whatnot. Like I think people in Texas were very resilient. When I know people had to go weeks without power and things of that nature, people were actually at the point where they were actually burning their certain items, bonfire and whatnot, just so that they could feel some sort of heat and whatnot. In the DMV area, I know people went a couple of days, some people went weeks without power, and but they were able to be resourcefulness and then let them get them down. And if anybody who passed away during the power outages, my heart goes out to them definitely. But it's, at the end of the day, when we go through things in life, it tests our ability, it tests the challenges that we face, it tests people's faith, tests people's um, willingness to survive, tests people's. I mean, like I said, we're on the scotch of being in a Walking Dead situation. We just don't have the zombies floating around everywhere, and you just don't see anarchy all over the place. Because you still have law enforcement, you still have a government, things of that nature. But we're on the cusp of it in regards, just in regards to a lot of other things, especially with people losing power, people losing jobs, people getting evicted from their places, people possibly because the whole forbearance thing is over. Last time I checked, is over with. So people possibly by the end of this year might even get foreclosed upon. So you got a lot of things that could happen for the people that might be in a tight situation, people that are not about their business and about their paper, and people that think that they can just be basic. And the main thing is for me, it's just like it's easy to be basic, it's hard to be extraordinary, and work every single day to be extraordinary. Tomorrow I'm going to Pennsylvania because we finally got the deeds to the properties that I bid on a tax lien, and now I'm going to go check them out. Finally, check them out again because I finally got the legal deeds, and now I'm going to say, hey, either I'm going to rent the properties out or I'm going to sell them as is and go from there. Because there's still a housing shortage and whatnot, and the real estate market is all crazy regardless of how you look at it. But today's quote of the day is by Dr. Boyce Watkins. It's funny, I don't listen to his content as much as I used to because there's so many other things that are out there. But I always make sure to listen to him a couple times a week because listening to him, whether you like him or love him, hate him, whatever to have you, that's your business. I don't care. I'm giving my perspective here. I remember in 2018, 17, 18, because I was listening to him so much. And I had an epiphany in my life. And I got up, did a good stretch, looked around. Not going to say where I was, not going to say who was there. Looked around and I thought of two people. I thought of Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I thought of Nipsey Hussle because they both talked about prisons. And if you're in an atmosphere where you're not inspired, in a sense, you are living in a prison. Now, it's not prison like, people who have actually been incarcerated or anything of that nature. I'll never make that comparison because I don't know what that's like. I'll never want to know what that's like. And I've talked to people that have gone through that, and I know it's not easy. So I'll leave it at that. But it's another form of prison, because one quote from Rest in Peace, the rapper, his name was Badass, He was an artist from the West Coast. He died in jail in Riverside, California, unfortunately. But the first time I heard him was on the song with Tupac Shakur off of Tupac's last album before he died called Machiavelli. And it was called Crazy. And he said, a million things go through my mind. You don't have to be in jail to be doing time. And that was real. That was one of the deepest things I've ever heard in my life. But I will say with all sincerity is that a lot of people are living in prison mentally, and one, and then two, I haven't gotten into the quote yet, but two, I felt at that moment when I was thinking about those two individuals, I felt like I was living in a prison, a mental prison and whatnot, and didn't realize where I was going, how I was going to get there, things of that nature. I was somewhat confused because I know what I wanted to do, and I know how I was trying to figure out how I was trying to do it in regards to making a big move to the West Coast and starting a new life. But a lot of things, came to play when it came to making that specific move. But I remember thinking about Dr. Boyce Watkins and Nipsey Hussle and thinking about the whole prison thing. And at that time, I felt like I was living in one mentally. But anyways, listening to people like him, listening to Nipsey Hussle helped me get free of my mental prison. And I'm happy about that. So great. That's why it's always great to listen to any sort of positive people, motivational speakers. The beautiful thing about today's world is even if they're not physically around you, you can find them somewhere on your cell phone, on your computer, whatever have you, all right? Dr. Boyce Watkins says, a person who doesn't invest should not wonder why they aren't advancing financially. You already know the answer. I could not agree with that statement more. It's already been proven by a multitude of economists, experts, financial whiz, entrepreneurs, CEOs, the list goes on and on and on and on and on, that if your money cannot grow if it's only sitting in a bank account. Or if you're only spending it with other people. It can grow for that other organization, that other business or whatnot. But money cannot grow if you only let it sit in a bank account. You have to be able to figure out how to not only invest your money, but majority of the time, figure out how to invest it from a long-term standpoint so that you can be able to have not only a great, as they call nest egg, but a great retirement when you get older. And that's just something to think about, all right? So, do the great three free things, family. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. As I always say, make money moves or you're going to live broke like a fool. And hopefully y'all are doing good, and hopefully y'all have a good night.